Hey guys, it's Lori LeBlanc, the Hope Coach, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about my holistic business coaching system. And we're going to spend some time going through a lot of business concepts that I think will help you, whether you are currently a business owner looking to take your business to the next level, or you are just kind of toying with the idea of starting your own business. I'm going to give you some tips that I think will help you make this foray into entrepreneurship more successful for you. Like I said, my name is Lori LeBlanc. I call myself the Hope Coach, and it stands for helping others pursue excellence. And that's kind of been my mission statement, and my desire for many years is to help people achieve excellence in all areas of their life. And I just so happen to pick business as the one area that I'm just most passionate about. And I'll talk a little bit more later on about how I've kind of come to that realization, and how I've kind of brought together a lot of my own experiences to create my business, and how I work with my coaching clients to help them develop the same thing. But anyway, I do get a lot of questions about what is holistic business coaching. And so this is actually my first Google Hangout, and I call it my Google Huddle because I'm a coach. So, of course, we're huddling up to learn how to play in the game of business more successfully. So, what is a holistic business coach? And I think the best way to really sort of describe it is to break it down into the different words. And so everybody knows what a coach is. When you have a team, an athlete, the coach is that person that takes an athlete and strives to help him become better, him or her become better, works with them, pushes them further than they thought they could go, encourages them, motivates them, inspires them to play their best, to give more than they think they can give. Excuse me. I've got a little tickle in my throat, so I want to get out my Fiji water. So a coach does that. A coach does not get out on the field and play the game. Coach is on the sidelines, motivating the players, pushing the players, creating the environments the player can be successful. The coach recognizes the player's strengths and the player's weakness, and he creates the environment amongst the team to where that player can be successful. And so that's what a coach does for people that are in business. There's life coaches. There's coaches for every area of your life. And basically that's what their job is, not to do the work for you, but to be a source of motivation, inspiration, accountability when you have a goal set and you kind of want to procrastinate and put it off and put it off. A coach is there to help keep you on track, and kind of like somebody you answer to. And so you kind of push yourself when you wouldn't if you didn't have a coach. And so obviously business, when you talk about business, there's so many different aspects you can talk about there. Marketing, advertising, business development, hiring, training, everything that has to do with business, customer acquisition costs, target marketing, profit, sales, you name it, everything that has to do with business. And then holistic has to do with, in my opinion, mind, body, and spirit. And a lot of business coaches work on the business itself, tweaking marketing, like I said, target marketing, various different aspects of the business itself, but they really neglect the crux of the whole thing, and that's the business owner. The business owner is the person that is the one that has the dreams, the visions, the goals, that has to do the work to make all of the parts work the way they're supposed to work. And so if that business owner has internal blocks to success, be it self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging behaviors, unconscious or subconscious thoughts about success and money and fears and things of that sort. It really doesn't matter how perfect the business model is. It doesn't matter how hard they work, whether they do all of the right things in terms of advertising or marketing and getting their message out, picking the right product. I mean, all those factors can be right, and yet they can still not have the success that they want because they have all these things blocking that success. So we're going to talk a little bit more of that later. But so when you put all that together, that's what I do, is I take a business owner and work with them in a holistic manner, working with their self-limiting beliefs, figuring out what is blocking them from reaching the goals that they want, or if they have an existing business and maybe it's just kind of stopped and stuck and they're not really seeing the results that they want, figuring out why, and working through some of the holistic tech modalities of energy healing, different things that we can do to release those blocks and have them be able to get the success that they want. Or if someone's just going into business, removing those blocks ahead of time, oh, it's so powerful, because then you don't have to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle and not get the results you want and then clear the blocks later on, months, years down the road, when if you would have just done it at first, you could have worked a whole lot less hard. And so that's really the crux of my program, is to take either an existing business owner or someone that's wanting to go into business, and I really focus on two main first steps. And they're kind of interchangeable. There's really not step one, step two. Either one of these could be step one or step two. And actually you can work on both of them simultaneously. But the very first thing is identifying what are those blocks and what are those self-limiting beliefs, what are those attitudes you have about money and success, and all of those sort of things that might in the past have held you back. Now you're going to start this new venture. Let's see if we can clear those out and get rid of those once and for all, so that you can start with a clean slate and build your business and be successful. And I've in working with my own coach, I have uncovered some of crazy self-limiting beliefs that I didn't even realize that I had. And now that I've uncovered them and I can see, it's like, oh wow, I guess I kind of know why that happened. But some of the things that I've heard that you would not really think about somebody going into business is like fear of success, fear of shining and being successful, being out in the spotlight. A lot of people that have weight issues have the same fear, and they use their weight as sort of an insulation from, being noticed and being visible. It's kind of a way for them to be invisible. But if you have this fear of shining, fear of being in the spotlight, it could have been something that happened when you were young, and you did something that we've had mosquitoes here, so I'm itching everywhere. So sorry about that. But it could be something when you were younger. You tried something and you didn't succeed at it, and you either were laughed at, or you felt like a failure, or you were made fun of, or you were rejected. I mean, it can be so many different things. I mean, everybody that's watching this probably has a different triggering event that caused you to have this fear of being in the spotlight, because once you're in the spotlight, all eyes are on you, and if you mess up, you're going to face that again. Are people going to laugh? Are they going to make fun of me? What if I don't know what to say, or what if I fail? And and everybody's going to know. And so there's all of these fears that can be present that realize, okay, yeah, I have this fear. What we don't realize is that it's not enough to just say, okay, I'm going to just feel the fear and do it anyway. I mean, you actually have to get rid of that fear, or else, from an energetic standpoint, and I do a lot of energetic healing. From an energetic standpoint, and you can think about it as the law of attraction. I know a lot of people are more familiar with that term than energetic healing, but when you think about the signal that you're sending out, you may understand that terminology from The Secret and the Law of Attraction, but when you're sending out this signal of fear of being in the spotlight, I don't want to be successful because then I'm going to be in the spotlight, the universe will attract back to you. Well, you will draw back in that makes that a reality for you. Okay, you don't want to be in the spotlight, guess what? You can try all you want, you're not going to be in the spotlight. If that's your underlying belief, it's going to make that's what you're going to attract into your life. The same thing, a lot of people have fears of money. They think subconsciously that money is dangerous. And now a lot of you are probably going, whoa, wait a minute, money's not dangerous. I want it. It can, I can buy this, I can buy that, and it would solve all my problems if I just had money. How can you say money's dangerous? But let me give you an example from my own experience. And before I tell you that, just think of it this way. If that's the signal that you're sending out, money is dangerous, keep it far away from me. Guess what's going to happen? Money will stay far away from you because you're basically saying, no, it's dangerous. Keep it away from me. So let me give you an example from my own experience that I've recently uncovered in working with my own coach, thinking about some of these money issues. When I was 7, my dad got sick, and he had a brain condition where his brain produced too much fluid, and he had to have operations from the time I was 7 till I was 19. When he passed away when I was 19. He had probably 12, 14 different operations, brain operations, during that 12-year period. He was a blue-collar worker. He was a pipe fitter welder, worked out in the heat. I mean, we live in Texas, and so, the summers, well, 90% of the time, 90% of the year, it's hot. And so he worked out in the heat, and the doctors told him, you need to quit your job, you need to get out of the heat, you need to do something else. Well, back then, he wasn't college educated. I mean, that was all he was trained to do. And he had 3 children and a wife and, responsibilities of being a father. And so he kept working. And, the doctors told him, if you don't quit working and out in that heat, you're going to die. It's going to kill you. And yet he didn't know anything else. And so I watched my dad, after like 5 brain operations in 3 days, go into a coma, and 3 years later, we've struggled through all this for 3 years, he died. And somehow in that whole thing, I got this feeling that money was bad, because look what it did to my dad. My dad worked until it killed him to provide for his family. And so, not only did I get that message that money was bad, and, because it killed my dad, but I also, on the flip side, had the paradigm that you have to work hard for money, and you have a responsibility to provide for your family, even if it kills you. Now, you stop and think about that for a minute. That's a pretty serious belief. I mean, it's just like, when I uncovered that, it was just like, whoa. Because for many years, I was in an extraordinarily stressful job. I knew it was killing me, essentially, because it was just zapping my soul. But yet, I had a family to support, and I was the primary supporter for my family, and so I did it, and now I look back and I'm like, wow, really? I see that now, that I had this underlying belief that, you had to work hard to the point where it could kill you to take care of your family. And, so of course when you have that's a very negative connotation with work and money and success and all this stuff. So being able to uncover that and work through that has been just opened the floodgates for me once that happened. I mean, it's just amazing the things that have come into my life, into my business ever since then. But one of the other things is that when you have these beliefs from your parents, basically, that's where most of you plot your money paradigms and your money blueprints that's in your head in terms of what you think is possible for you. Could be grandparents, I mean, depending on if you were raised by your grandparents, but you have this sort of blueprint in your mind of what you believe you can accomplish or you can make based on what your parents did. Now, I mean, you kind of figure you can better than them a little bit just because, things are just technologically more advanced now. More people are going to college than perhaps when, a couple of generations before us. But, there's a certain paradigm that you picked up from your family regarding money. And like I said, for me, it was, you got to work hard even if it kills you, and money is bad because it, to work hard, so hard that it kills you, well, I don't want any part of that, So, so it's kind of like a flip side, but they're both bad. And so, but not only do you come away with these paradigms, these beliefs, but because they were your parents, you have a sense of loyalty to your parents and a sense of wanting to be respectful to your parents. So you, even though once you recognize those paradigms and you're like, I want to get rid of that, there's some guilt associated with getting rid of those paradigms because you kind of feel like you're being disloyal to your family because that's what they taught you. And so there's a whole other issue that you have to work through and release because, again, that's a block. If your parents believe this certain paradigm and you're trying to do the opposite of that, you're going to have some guilt associated with that. And that can be a block that can stand in your way. Excuse me again. So I think that you can see, and those are just a couple of the ones that I had. So, I mean, there's all kinds of blocks that people can have. I mean, if you had a family that, we happen to have a fairly rich relative that when I was growing up that was not very generous. Let me just put it that way. And there were many times when we had absolutely nothing when my dad was sick and all the hospital bills. And I mean, you can imagine with all those brain surgeries, even back then, that was a lot of money. And there were times when it was just brutal, and he wouldn't help us. And he was living high on the hog, and that was talked about quite adamantly, as you might well imagine, with my parents. And so, that was another belief system that I had. Rich people are selfish and all they care about themselves. And so, I've had all of these beliefs that I've had to overcome. And so for those of you who maybe have already been in business and you're doing all the work and you're doing everything you should be doing and you're not getting the results, there's something blocking those results. And it's I kind of think of it like one of those steel doors, boom, it's right there and it's completely around you, and you have these blocks and it's not going to come through. It's not. I mean, you can work hard the rest of your life and do, just pour yourself into this business, and you're not going to get the results you want because you have this massive block for that to allow it to come into your life. And so that's a key component in my coaching program, is just getting through that. I mean, if I do nothing else for you but get through those blocks, the rest of it, the business part of it, business principles are the same no matter what business that you're in. I mean, you have sales, profitability, this and that, target marketing, and all of those things, they're basic business principles. Sure, I can teach them to you and I can help you, but none of that matters if you don't have the inner work done. And so that's why I'm spending so much time on this inner work, is because that will ultimately decide whether all of the business stuff that you're doing is going to be successful. So while that's one of the initial steps, the other one of the other initial steps is creating a business that's uniquely you. And I like to kind of pick on MLMs right now, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything negative against MLMs, because I've done MLMs for 20 years. I love the business model. It's the first thing that got me interested in entrepreneurship, and has just brought me so much knowledge, and has helped me grow as a person more than anything else that I've done. Is just the various businesses that I've been involved in. The books, the people, the seminars, all of those things has brought me so much knowledge, and has brought me farther than I could have ever done on my own. And so a lot of people, when they think about going into business for themselves, they'll find a vitamin or a skincare line or some product online. I mean, it can be anything. In multi-level marketing, there's all kind of products and services you can do. That tends to be the starting point of most people, when they're talking about starting a business, because it's simple. I mean, it's an easy model to get involved with. The startup costs are very small, very low, and pretty much anybody can get started in one of those. And so I'm not knocking that in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. But what I like to do with my clients is realize that that is outside of you. Okay? You're never going to be passionate about that product as you are something that you create yourself. That is somebody else's dream that you're selling. I'll let that sit with you for a minute. That product, that service, that's somebody else's dream that you're selling. It's not your dream. Now, you want the result, maybe, that the business is promising, extra money, being able to travel the world, the cars, whatever it is that you want that end result. But the product itself is somebody else's dream. It's not yours. And so, again, one of the very first steps that I do with my clients is creating a business that is yours. There's nothing else like it out there. And, this is how I came up with my own business model, the holistic business coaching. I've been in the healthcare industry as a career. I've been a pharmacist for 22 years. I love helping people improve their lives. That's why I went into that field. Along the way, very early in my career, I got interested in natural medicine, and I've just been a fanatic about natural medicine. I love holistic medicine, natural medicine, alternative medicine, herbal things, all of those things. I love all that. Then I got involved with a business coaching program. I became a certified business coach because I loved the entrepreneurship, business ownership, trying to problem solve businesses and make them work better when there's something that's not working. I mean, I love that. And recently, probably within the last 5 years, I guess, I've sort of been on a spiritual journey. I've uncovered some spiritual issues that have really just skyrocketed my spirituality. And, I've gotten interested in reading about different religions, different viewpoints. I've been meditating for many, many years now. In fact, there's a full moon tonight, which is the absolute best day to go outside and meditate with your bare feet on the ground. And I'm going to do that as soon as I'm finished with this, fight the mosquitoes, and go do my barefoot meditation under the full moon, because the energy is just off the charts. And so, but things like that, energy healing, I kind of mentioned that earlier. I've studied reiki and acupressure and EFT and tapping and all these different modalities, working on developing my intuition, my psychic abilities. I mean, there's just so much metaphysical stuff out there, astrology, numerology, palm analysis. I mean, it's just so many different things that I'm interested in, that I just read about and I study, and it just fascinates me. Excuse me. And so taking all of these things that is my passion, helping other people, natural medicine, business development, spiritual, holistic energy manipulation, energy healing, and putting all of that, wrapping all of that up and giving birth to this holistic coaching system that I've come up with, holistic business coaching system that I've come up with. There's nothing else out there like it. I have no competition because it's mine. It's mine. Nobody else can say that. I created it from my own passion, from my own loves, from my own desires, from my own knowledge, all of the things that I have learned and studied and participated in all these years. I've birthed that into something that is unique, that is helping a lot of people, and is going to help a lot of people, and I know that. And so by focusing on this initially, and maybe you've already got a business started, and that's okay. If you already have a business, and we can work around that, and we can develop it in a way that's still uniquely you. But the people that haven't yet and that are looking at doing this is how I created my own business, and this is the type of thing that I will work with you on in my coaching program to create for yourself, so that we can take whatever it is that's your knowledge and your passions and your desires and put them together to birth something that's uniquely you. And you might say, well, how are we going to do that? I'm not a pharmacist. I didn't go to college. I don't have all this degrees in this and that. And maybe not. But there is something in your life that you have done or that that other people don't know, have not experienced, do not have your unique perspective on it. And so by taking that knowledge, that's where we start. And, I wrote a couple of examples down here to kind of, illustrate what I'm talking about. Maybe you are the mother of an autistic child, okay? I have no experience in that. My children have not suffered from that. I have friends that do, relatives that do, but they're not something that I'm aware of on a daily basis. I just know they've had challenges. I mean, it is a very challenging situation. But maybe as a parent of an autistic child, you have found a unique way that you can communicate with your child, that you can calm your child, that you can de-stress yourself from the situation because it's very challenging. You have found something that has worked tremendously for you that you can share with other people. This is something that you're passionate about because it's something that you've lived through. You understand the challenges, and you can speak to another parent that's going through that same situation on a level that no one else can because they haven't gone through it like you have. So that's another example. Maybe, you've had a child that has, epilepsy, seizures, and how do you handle leaving them by themselves, or, the stress involved with that, and the unknowns, and is it going to happen, and all the medicine and side effects, and this is how we've handled this, and this, and so being able to take those passions of yours and things that you've lived that could help other people. That's how you create this uniquely you business idea. I thought of another one, like people that have a job, like an actual job. How it could be like say, for example, a neonatal nurse. I cannot imagine how stressful and how just heartbreaking that job could be at times, and also how unbelievably rewarding it can be at times. But if you think, maybe perhaps if that's your job, you have found a very unique way to de-stress, to handle the situation. Maybe, if you are a prayer person or an energy healer like me, maybe you found a certain practice that works, and laying hands on a baby, and that it soothes them, or it makes them stronger. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but maybe there's something that you have experienced and done in your practice that could help all the other neonatal nurses out there. So these are the kind of things that I'm talking about when I talk about figuring out what it is that is uniquely you, that you were born on this earth to produce, to create, and share with other people, to help other people. And so those are the two, like that step and uncovering the blocks are the foundation of building a successful business. And like I said, if you already have a business, you don't have to scrap it and start over. You can, because it may be the best thing. I don't know. Everybody's different. But the best thing would be to just take a pause, step back for a little bit, and look at it and say, okay, where do I go from here? How can I go ahead and do this and then incorporate that into what I'm already doing? And again, that's something that we can work on through the coaching program. So what my coaching program consists of is I call it the Business Success Blueprint. Okay, and basically it is the first step is the two that I've already identified. Working through the blocks and creating the plan for what kind of business that you're going to birth. But then the third step is really kind of coming up with a strategic step-by-step blueprint, which is why I call it the Business Success Blueprint, or a business plan, in other words, as to what you want your business to look like. And a lot of people skip over this step. Like I said, they jump into an MLM or whatever. I like this product. Ooh, I think I can do well with it. Boom, and off they go. But they never stop and look at the big picture. It's like, okay, what do you want this business to look like 10 years from now, 5 years from now? Do you want it to be something that you have to be there physically present to do the business? If you go and start a brick and mortar sandwich shop or ice cream shop or dry cleaners or whatever, you're stuck in that location for the life of the business. Okay, if you want to take a vacation, how do you take a vacation? You can't close your business. Now maybe you can have somebody that you trust to run it for a week. Maybe, maybe they'll run off all your money. No, I don't know. But you're limited in being able to leave, because that's your business right there, that brick and mortar place. So are you okay with that? Maybe not everybody wants to travel. Not everybody wants to go all over the world and things. But if that is something that you want to have the potential to do, well, then you're not going to want a brick and mortar business. And so, the last thing you want to do is start a business and then 5 years from now go, ooh, I'm stuck here. I can't go anywhere. I can't travel because my business will stop if I'm not doing it. Seeing clients one-on-one, doing your if you're doing massage therapy or this or that, all these different services that require you to be there in order to get paid. You do your service and they pay you. That's the business model that you are going to be stuck with for the rest of the life of the business. Nothing wrong with it if you're okay with that. Okay, so but it's very important to make sure that you think about that early on and structure your business model based on what the kind of lifestyle that you want to have with this business. For me personally, I love one-on-one interaction, but ultimately my goal is to have a worldwide portable business. I don't want to be locked into one location or have to have a office or anything, So have structured all of my business blueprint that will enable me to have everything I do online. All of my programs, all of my coaching programs. Now there will be calls and things like that, but again, I can do that from anywhere in the world. I can do webinars from anywhere in the world. I can do teleseminars. I can do training. I can do my Google huddles as a coach from anywhere in the world. And so I'm leaving that open for me because that's important to me. It may not be important to you, and that's okay. Everybody has their own desires I'm not going to try to convince you that mine's better than yours. That's just what I want out of my business. And so by identifying what it is that you want, maybe you don't want to go anywhere in the brick and mortar business. You want, that makes you feel like you have a successful business. You want a brick and mortar store. Great. Let's work on a plan to see how we can do that for you. So, like I said, the key thing is making sure that you plan ahead, and think about these things. And another thing that is beneficial about having the blueprint written down, established, thought out before you ever get into business is that one of the things that I see people do, and I'm guilty of doing it way back when when I was getting started, is oh, look at that! I need to know how to do that. Oh, look at that! I need to know how to do that. Oh, I need to know how to. I need to know how to do that. Download program. Download program. Oh, I got this PDF. I got this. And I've got a whole computer of programs that I've never used. And I'm sure I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't done that before. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has done that. But the problem with that is that you get all of these pieces to the puzzle, but if you haven't stopped to plan it out, you don't even know what the puzzle is supposed to look like. So how do you know where all these pieces fit? Because you don't know what the end result, the puzzle, is supposed to look like. So, it may be you might need that program, but you only are going to buy that program if it fits into your puzzle piece. Yeah, this is exactly what I need for this piece right here of this puzzle that I've already created. I know what the puzzle is going to look like. I know I need this piece right here. Then and only then will you buy that shiny object that people are promoting in your email box or on Facebook. It won't be just a, oh yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, that looks good. And you have all these different pieces of stuff. So this is like the program that I have set up for my coaching clients. Is this basically it's a three step all-in-one kind of business success blueprint. It's basically, like I said, figuring out where the blocks are, figuring out your unique business, and then setting up a plan. And so once you have that foundation, I have ongoing coaching to help keep it going. When I do a thing called the quarterly business review program, and just like big corporations, major companies plan their business on a quarterly basis. You hear the quarterly reports. You hear about that all the time on the news and in the stock market. We will do quarterly business sessions, review sessions, basically breaking down the different aspects of the business and what we need to do in the next 90 days. And the reason we break it into 90-day segments, again, this is what big corporations do. Obviously, it's a good segment of time to test advertising to see if it's going to work. You don't want to run an ad for a year and then see, oh gosh, I didn't get any return on that investment. No, we'll do it for 90 days and measure it. Scrap it if it's not working, or amp it up if it is working. So, it's a great little nugget of time that allows you to focus on certain tasks that need to get done so that you can meet your year-end goals. It's broken down into quarterly, so we've got a certain task that need to be done. But then you can also have specific, marketing strategies that you're going to test during that 9 days. And it gives you a way to stay on track. Because, 90 days, you come back, you review what happened. Excuse me. I get so excited and I talk, my throat gets so dry. But, it gives you a chance to, again, you don't want to go like a whole year and don't do any sort of review, and then you really didn't see the progress. By having these little 90-day quarterly business review sessions that we do, it enables you to review what you've been doing for the last 90 days. Okay, what's working, what's not working? Okay, how do we need to change it for the next 90 days? Because these are the things that we were going to work on. Are we ahead of schedule? Are we behind schedule? Do we need to make up? How are we going to change our marketing? Are we going to keep our marketing? So taking it nuggets like that at a time will allow you, through this coaching program, to keep your business on track, There's the accountability section, which, basically if you decide this is what you need to do in the next 90 days to make sure your business is moving forward. And, with our we have the monthly coaching sessions, and then we have the quarterly business review sessions, and it's like, you didn't do any of this. So there's a little bit of accountability there when you have to face someone that you've told them, okay, these are my goals, this is what I'm going to do in the next 90 days, and, through the monthly coaching calls and then the quarterly reviews, and you haven't done it. Well, there's really kind of not anybody else that you can blame for your lack of success except for you. Obviously, these things need to be done, and if you're not doing them, then you're really not helping yourself. Okay, I've helped you with your blocks, and, we've got the plan all in place, but you have to implement the plan, okay? You're the player on the field, okay? I'm the coach, rah, rah, let's go. I'm going to inspire you, I'm going to motivate you, and I'm going to hold you to what you say is important to you. You say you want to win this game of business, we've come up with the playbook, and if you're not executing the plays, guess what? You're the one that's responsible for the ultimate success or failure of your business. It's not me. I'm just there to facilitate the process and help you along. But ultimately, the ball's in your court. So, we do these quarterly review sessions. And so I have all of these different programs to help you strategically, step by step, run a successful business. And one of the things that I like to do is present the material to you systematically, I guess, one step at a time. Okay, I'm not one of those people that likes to just dump this whole program on you and say, okay, here's all of it. Okay, this is everything you need. Because what happens is, if I dump all of these things on you, and even if you read it all, which chances are you probably won't, but even if you read all of it, you're probably only going to retain about 1% of the information. I mean, about 10% of the information. I'm sorry. You'll retain about 10% of the, it'll make sense. You'll get it, about 10% of the information. And of that 10% that you get, you'll probably only implement about 10% of that. So, we're looking at 1% implementation of my whole program if I was to give all of it to you all at once. Because it's just too much material. You've got all of these things vying for your attention. I need to build a website. How do I build my list? I got to get an autoresponder, and I got to make a squeeze page, and there's Facebook advertising and SEO, and buzz my business. I got to see clients. I got to figure out my programs and what I'm going to sell, and I mean, ooh, it's just going to drive you crazy because there's so much that you can get just lost in the shuffle of all of the things that you could be doing. But if you, if you have your plan set up, we're going to have this plan set up. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to have a coaching call. And we're going to talk about these 3 things that you're going to do, and how, and how that you've done them, and what you've done, and let's move on to the next set of things that we need to get done. And so, what I have set up on the page here is my website address, holisticbusinesscoaching.com. And I don't know if it's backwards or not on your screen. It's right side facing me, so I don't know. I'm assuming that everybody's seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. I hope so. But anyway, and my computer just stopped. So I'm not sure if I'm recording right now. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're recording again. It kind of flipped. I had a little stall there. So I have my website on the page here, www.holisticbusinesscoaching.com. And this is just a very simple website. And what I want you to do is go to the website, and on the left-hand side of the website is a opt-in box to opt into my email list. And what that's going to give you, I have a report that I've written called The 3 Magical Keys to Unlocking the Business of Your Dreams. And a lot of that is the same information that I've covered today in this Google Huddle, and in a very simplistic manner, but it gives you some things to think about. And then what I will do, once you're on that mailing list, I will start sending you a series of emails, and the first ones will be basically summing up what we've talked about here tonight. And because a lot of people, not everybody is auditory hearing, you hear it. Some people need to see it, touch it, you can print it out. And so I will send you this information that we've talked about tonight, as well as information about the individual coaching plans, programs, and what you would need to do to get started in one of them. And that'll give you a chance to review it, kind of see where you are on all of this. Are you already have a business that you feel is already expressing who you are individually? Maybe you just need to work on the blocks. Maybe you already have a plan set out. You don't need to do all of the whole business success blueprint program. You just need nuggets of it. So I will explain all of that in a series of emails, because I don't want to, like I said, dump all this information on you. I would really rather you take it systematically, have a chance to review this material again, and think about it. Think about how this applies to you. Have you done some businesses in the past and worked really hard and just really not gotten the things that you want? Do you think there could be something? Well, obviously there is something blocking it. What do you think that might be? If you can identify that, then we can work to get rid of it. And so I want to send you that information. But like I said, it all starts with you going to the website and putting your information in there. Just ask for a name and email. You'll automatically, as soon as you hit send, you'll be directed to a page where you can download that report on the 3 magical keys to unlocking the business of your dreams. I got to take another drink. I'm sorry. But that will get you to more information. I will send you this. I don't think it's going to be a transcript. It's just going to kind of be the same information that we've covered here, just so that you can read it. It may not be a word-for-word transcript, but it'll help you think about these things and figure out where you are and how the programs that I offer can help you take your business to the next level, or even create a business if you don't have one already. And I do have on my web page, there is a contact button where you can click on that and send me a message if you have a particular question. And then, like I said, I will be sending you information on a regular basis of the information that will help you kind of move you along step by step, so not to overwhelm you, so that you can